The following ideas, information, concepts, and designs are the sole property of George Kasbowski and Vic Kroll and have previously been registered with the Patent Law Office of Wood Phillips in Chicago, Illinois. Most people in the free world know what this product is. Unfortunately, not that many people are aware that it is actually dangerous to their health. The reason is the fine fibers can penetrate the pores of the skin, nasal passages, and lungs, causing irritation and infection. This product is commonly known as fiberglass. Fiberglass is exactly what it says it is. It is made out of glass that has been turned into a fiber, and if it was a safe product for your home, the installer would not have to wear protective gear and coverings. Fiberglass causes more problems. For example, it can retain moisture for long periods of time from a leaky roof or leaky plumbing, and if the area doesn't dry out, it can promote mold in concealed areas. What is not realized by most consumers is that over a period of time, houses and buildings settle. In the process, cracks and openings can happen without being apparent to the naked eye, and this can become worse in older buildings. The glass insulation fibers can work their way through these openings, posing a hazard to homeowners. Aircraft and vehicular traffic can intensify this problem from the vibrations that are left in their wake. Binders in most fiberglass contain toxic formaldehyde that is slowly emitted for months or even years after installation, potentially contaminating indoor air. Now, homeowners are in direct contact with the same material that the insulation installer was wearing protective gear for. These are a few of the recommended items on the warning labels of fiberglass insulation that should be used to protect your health. OSHA requires that these labels carry a cancer warning as well. Here are just 10 reasons why our new product is superior to all others. Number 1. This new insulating product looks like and is sold like regular insulation, but it requires no protective gear for installation. Number 2. Only minimal tools are required: knife and/or scissors, staple gun, and ruler. Number 3. It is unaffected by water or moisture. Number 4. It weighs less. Number 5. It has an R factor far greater than any other insulation of its type. Number 6. The R factor can be determined at the time of manufacture. Number 7. Everyday chemicals such as boric acid can be mixed in the plastic to make it insect resistant. Number 8. An inert non-toxic gas can be mixed with the air that creates the bubbles, or can use the inert gas in place of the air altogether to greatly increase the R factor. Number 9. It is possible to make this insulation with an R factor greater than almost anything else on the planet that is used in this area. Number 10. This product can be recycled. Try doing that with any other insulation. The most practical way of packaging and shipping this new product is in strips to ensure the maximum insulating factor. It also makes it easier to handle and store. It can be laid out on the ground and stacked and layered like building blocks, and can be stacked very high without the use of pallets. Here you have blown-in insulation. There are many problems with this type of insulation as well. This insulation is subject to collecting dust and debris. It is also subject to collecting moisture since it is exposed to the open air and is not that great when exposed to the environment, and in cases like this can aid in allergies. It also can shift over time, allowing for significant heat loss and subsequent uneven heat dispersion. This new AirTech insulation, as Hannah is pointing out, lays flat within the rafters and allows you to lay flooring over it, while providing the greatest R factor ever made available for this type of insulation. Air pockets are the best way of insulating almost anything. Even in the science of clothing, many layers have proven to be better than a solid material. Here, Hannah points out another type of insulating material. In our opinion, this is the best material: over-the-roll and solid blown insulation. One of the several problems with this type of insulation is that it requires a very specialized type of equipment, protective gear, and knowledge that requires a professional to do the work. This is the most costly type of insulation and is not recommended for the do-it-yourselfers. Here you see a cutaway picture of a lid on an ice cooler. This insulation can be made to work in other items, such as thermoses, refrigerators, and a wide variety of items that require the utmost in maintaining cooling and warmth. For example, an ice chest insulated with this new insulation would allow the user to keep items cold for days rather than hours, for only a small increase in manufacturing cost. And we believe that the consumer would gladly pay a lot more for this convenience to keep food cold and safe from bacteria on long camping trips and picnics. Here is a cutaway of the cooler wall. This new bubble insulation technology provides the ultimate in insulating technology. We believe that this is a multi-billion-dollar technology because of the price of heating oils and propane, and now even coal. This is what the inside of a thermos bottle looks like. There is nothing in it except a sealed air gap. This has been found to be the most effective form of insulation that can be used for thermoses. The black dart indicates the outer wall of the thermos. The red dart indicates the air gap between the vacuum bottle and the outside wall. The blue darts indicate the inner and outer walls of the vacuum bottle, and the yellow dart indicates another air chamber. It would be great if your house could be made in this fashion, and maybe in the next millennium this might be possible. To make an analogy, your heating and cooling bills would be comparable to a small motorcycle against a tractor trailer in energy cost savings. And now this new insulating technology is about to step forward to meet the challenge. Due to its hundreds of thousands of bubble chambers, our new insulation can accomplish this feat. There has never been an insulation in the history of the world that utilizes this thermos bottle-like insulation technology until now. Here's Hannah standing next to a room that typically would be insulated with this new insulation. It is water resistant, insect resistant, mildew resistant, and does not require any vapor barrier. It installs in the same amount of time as all other insulations do. It can't be impregnated by dust like other roll insulations. It has the highest resistance to high decibel sound levels, unlike all other insulations. And it can make a room or area virtually soundproof. This would make houses that are built in and around industrial areas, airports, highways, and train tracks have the same low sound levels as houses built in suburban areas. Here you see Jeff holding a layer of our new insulation. As you can see, it is semi-rigid. The tape tabs have been pulled off, and since the insulation is made to install for an 8-foot wall, it is now ready to install. Here, Jeff is installing the insulation. It is not necessary to staple because of the pre-taped adhesion strips. Here is another first that saves additional time and material. Here you see one form of what we believe the insulating machine would look like. The red darts indicate the lines that feed the air and/or gas, or combination of both. This red dart shows a pressure chamber, which is the first step in the extrusion process. Here, the red darts show the plastic inlets. The red dart now shows the rotary air drum. The drum speed helps determine the size of the bubbles. These are the air transfer holes. They allow the air to travel upward through the air pressure drum to the bubble creating chamber. This red dart shows the drive gear for the rotary drum. This is one of the items that help control the size of the bubbles and the speed of the extrusion. Here is the red dart that shows the air transfer tubes. Here you see the air bubbles actually being created. Now, shown here are the end bearing and lock nut that are also part of the adjustment and alignment for the drum. These are insulation runners, and unlike all other roll insulation runners, these have peel-off glue covers which can eliminate the use of wire staples for the majority of installation jobs. This ensures the airtight seal against moisture, dust, and insects. These insulating bubbles are small, independent chambers, each one acting like an insulation sphere of its own and acting like a miniature thermos bottle. Each of these spheres also acts like a sound barrier. Sound, as you may know, travels in excess of 700 miles per hour and can carry on for extreme distances, depending on its pitch. Sound travels until it dissipates or is absorbed or engulfed by the air or materials around it. Each of these spheres acts like a sound-absorbing chamber, and the sound captured within the first several sphere layers makes this material the ultimate in sound protection. Here is a side view of the basic machine. Obviously, there is not much shown in these pictures and diagrams because these production items are already in use and are apparent items that are needed to be used to make this device work. This is the only basic format for a bubble insulation making machine. This diagram shows a side view of the rotary drum and how the air and/or gas passes from the lower air chamber through the rotary drum to the bubble making chamber. Here is a better diagram of the insulating material showing the bubbles and how they form an uneven structure. This is accomplished by varying the sizes of the holes in the rotary drum. By doing this, all the bubbles would be different sizes. And here is another practical application in the use of plastic windows. This new insulation can be made clear for the transmission of light while offering the maximum of insulation properties. Here is a plastic window that is ideal for everything from garage doors to storage buildings, and even a doghouse. It is super lightweight and cheap to manufacture. Here is another area where this new bubble insulation technology can be used. Here are just a few of the styles in glass block shown here. Glass block is a wonder in increasing the light in an area or in basements with plain fixed windows. It increases the security of the building while allowing in more light. But if you notice here, there is only one air gap between both panes of glass. Although the air gap helps a great deal, it is not enough to stop energy loss. If our insulation was installed in between the two glass walls, it would increase the R factor immensely, while still permitting the light to get through and lowering the energy cost where these types of windows would be used. One area where everyone has missed is in automobiles. Virtually all money has been spent in the area of safety and engine technology while trying to get engines to use less fuel. One area that has been missed completely is in the area of insulating the vehicle. An air conditioner in a vehicle can reach the equivalent of 6 tons or more that a house air conditioner would. This is because the vehicle is virtually all steel, and steel is a magnet for cold and heat. Not only that, it can have as much as 25% of the outside surface made of glass, which has one of the lowest R factors around. Here is a vehicle showing areas that could be insulated easily at the time of manufacture. If automobiles were insulated with this bubble insulating technology, the fuel savings when running the air conditioner would be tremendous. With the number of vehicles on the road with air conditioners, over several years, the savings would run into the billions. Here is a side view of a Chevy Tahoe showing the quarter panel with this insulation in it, and a close-up on the right showing this new bubble insulation technology. This insulation would also lower the decibels in a vehicle, making an average vehicle as quiet as a Cadillac or Lincoln, at a fraction of the purchase cost of these luxury cars. Here you see Hannah pointing at one of many types of rollers that can create the many styles of insulation required for the application needed. Almost any style of bubble or pocket can be created merely by designing the roller to make the type of air pocket desired, and by varying the speed of the roller, the type of plastic, the temperature, and the pressure, the variations and styles are almost limitless. The first illustration you see here on the left is a top view of a random pattern of blown pockets. The pattern in the middle is a top view of a repetitious pattern, and the illustration on the right is a partial side view of just one of the possible layered pocket chambers that can be created. We hope that you have been enlightened by the information in this DVD, covering just some of the possible uses of this new technology. If you have any questions concerning this new technology, please contact George Kasbowski, President, at 708-430-9971, or Vic Krall, Vice President, at 708-598-1842. John Mortimer at Patent Law Office of Wood Phillips at 312-876-1800. We thank you for your time and look forward to hearing from you.